Before we get into the actual content, I just want to give you all a quick heads up. If the gameplay in this video looks a bit too bright at times, like almost washed out in certain areas, just know it's not on your end, and definitely not some weird editing filter I added. It's actually a bug that came with the recent update. Something about the lighting or how the in-game sun works now just makes certain matches look overly bright. The only actual fix I found? You gotta fully rejoin the game. Not just return to lobby, but completely leave and re-enter. Yeah, I know, it's a bit of a hassle, but that's the only workaround right now. So just bear with me if the brightness looks off in parts. Alright, with that out of the way, let's talk about the big topic, the summer update for Blue Lock Rivals. I'm guessing most of you watching have already played through some of it, maybe tried out the new maps, tested a few characters, or messed around with the updated flows. But today, I want to go a bit deeper. Not just surface level stuff like, yay new maps, or hey, Yukimiya got buffed, but all the actual changes that are either low-key important or just kind of went unnoticed. And yeah, before we dive in fully, if you're enjoying this kind of content, or just appreciate when someone takes time to break stuff down for real, hit that like button and maybe consider subscribing if you haven't already. We're growing fast, and every bit helps. Alright, let's get into it. So first, I gotta talk about something that personally hurt. My absolute favorite flow in the game, Destructive Impulses, got nerfed. And I mean hard. This was my go-to for like a month and a half, maybe even longer. And I get it, it was kind of broken. You could literally fire off insane shots from midfield and score if the goalie wasn't a total sweat. But man, after the nerf, it just feels so much weaker. The power got toned down big time, and the shots now curve way more, which throws off the rhythm I had with it. It's not unplayable or anything, it's just not what it used to be. Honestly, it went from feeling like a mythic flow to something more like a high-end legendary. And that brings me to Yukimiya. Let's talk buffs. He got some nice changes in this patch, but there's a weird detail that's confusing a lot of people. In the patch notes, they say Yukimaya has been downgraded to legendary tier, but if you actually look at his style in the game, it still says mythic. Bit of a mismatch there. But that's not all. Miro, one of the community heads, put out a poll asking if Yukimiya should get a full-on rework, and at the time I'm recording this, it's at like 91% voting yes. I'm in that 91% by the way. So yeah, expect a full rework video dedicated to Yukimiya soon, but for now let's stick with what changed in this update. So first major fix, his lethal touch no longer kills your stamina. Before, using it once was like losing half your bar. Now, much more manageable. Then they removed the stamina drain from freestyle, which is such a good change. It makes the move actually usable in longer fights. Next, his awakening. Street dribbling got some serious upgrades, increased distance, more speed, shorter cooldown, and this is the best part. You can use it twice during one awakening if you trigger it early enough. That's actually huge. They also finally fixed Gyro Shot. It now hits harder than NEL Rio's version, which makes sense because it's Yukimiya's signature shot. It was always weird that Rio's copy felt stronger. Now, even though he's still listed as mythic in the game, the devs seem to be moving him toward legendary, especially with his flow now being in the legendary tier. And honestly, I get it. His style isn't quite on par with the top mythics anymore, so it fits. While we're on the subject, NEL Rayo got a small nerf too, just to his gyro shot. Nothing game-breaking, but still worth noting. And then there's Aiku. Yeah, he got hit hard, but I'm just gonna say it, I think the nerf was deserved. A lot of people might not agree, but from the perspective of someone who had to play against Aiku, dude was a wall. Periscope and Territory were basically shutting down entire Awakening combos. No joke, I had Awakening shots cancelled mid-animation because of Periscope. That should not happen. So yeah, now Aiku's toned down a bit. Still usable, just not broken. Let's talk flows again. The devs did more than just tweak a few. This was a full rebalancing across the board. They removed most of the extra tackle perks, brought mythics more in line with world-class styles, reduced hitbox buffs, and adjusted shot powers. Everything's a little less exaggerated now. Here's a few specific examples of what exactly changed and how it affects actual gameplay. Aiku's flow. All of the previous buffs got completely wiped. Now, instead of being overloaded with unfair advantages, the flow gives you +2 headers, a small boost to movement speed, reduced tackle cooldown, and more powerful headers. It still feels solid, just way more fair. Destructive impulses. This one stings. My personal favorite. The +2 slides, gone. The helpful tackle cooldown buff, gone too. And the shot power took a serious hit. It just doesn't feel as threatening anymore. The shots curve more now, and overall it feels more like a slightly tuned down version of its former self. Still usable, just not dominating the field like before. Godspeed, Loki. It's been fully rebalanced. The extended steel hitbox and increased slide distance are no longer part of the package. But to make up for that, you now get faster acceleration, slightly higher base movement speed, and better stamina management overall. It's shifted from being a sort of all-in-one cheat code to more of a pure speed-based flow, and honestly, it feels way better this way. Now let's move on to King's Authority, King. This flow also had all its existing buffs stripped out. In their place, we now have a mix of ankle break ragdoll time, shot power buffs, reduced stamina loss, a 25% tackle cooldown reduction, and a solid +5 slide distance boost. It's a new flavor for King that actually feels more aggressive and physical, which fits him way better. And finally, we've got to talk about one of the most hyped and powerful flows that honestly outclassed even Emperor flow in terms of overall utility. Master of all trades, NEL Rayo. This one got a major rework. All previous buffs are gone, and now on activation you reduce the cooldown of your copy ability by 40%, gain a slight increase in movement speed, improved passing power +1 dribble, and a 25% tackle cooldown. It still feels incredibly useful, just a little more balanced now so it's not completely overtuned. Also 2 new maps, Water Park and Beach. I've only played Water Park so far, but I actually love it. The layout feels fresh and visually it's just fun. I hope they don't rotate these out too quickly. I'd love if we got to choose the map, or at least vote. Last thing, probably the most underrated addition, they finally added a smart position switching system. Here's how it works. When you join a game, you've got a 10-second window to back out. After a goal, you also get 10 seconds to return to the lobby. And after a full minute, the button to change positions comes back, but there's a cooldown, so people can't spam switch. Also, goalkeeper throw power got buffed, which honestly just makes the game feel smoother. About time. Outro. So yeah, this update brought a lot of changes. Some exciting, some frustrating, and some that just make the game feel more polished. Whether you're a Yukimiya main, a flow enjoyer, or just someone happy about finally getting a decent map rotation. There's a lot to take in here. So let me know, what was the biggest change that stood out to you in this update? Do you think the buffs to Yukimiya are finally enough to make him usable again, or are you still hoping for that full rework to happen sooner rather than later? And those flow nerfs, did they hit your favorite setups the way they hit mine? Or were you lucky this time? Oh, and between the 2 new maps, Water Park and Beach, do you have a favorite yet, or are you still figuring out which one plays better? I'd love to hear all your takes down in the comments. If you found this breakdown helpful or entertaining, feel free to hit that like button. If you're new here and enjoy deep dives like this, subscribing would mean a lot. And hey, if you really don't want to miss the Yukimiya rework video, it's coming very soon. Turn on that notification bell. I've got a lot to say in that one, and you won't want to miss it. Thanks so much for watching, for the support, and just for being part of this growing community. More content on the way, so stay tuned. And as always, see you in the next one.